Today we'll be creating some cool holographic trading cards inside Cinema4D with the help of Photoshop and a third-party software called Materialize, which is used to create different texture maps out of images you put in. And this is what we start out with. So these are the forms that you created. You need to get some basic shapes down and just think of what kind of trading card you want to make. So I've already did this, as you can see, and the resolution is irrelevant. Just make sure it's high enough for the use case that you want to apply it to. Quick intermission. I just wanted to tell you guys and plug my Patreon for a second that I just released new content on there with a lot of old content being already on there. So if you are new to this and you are interested in what I have to offer, there's a bunch of process videos, tutorials, and stuff like that lying around there. I've just published this new process fully commentated for the newest Cyberpunk Edge Runners inspired animation that I did, including the Cinema4D project file. So if that is something that interests you, make sure to head on over to patreon.com/carlyfetz and let's continue with the tutorial. So this is not a 4K texture because it's not square, but it basically is. And we got all these different shapes and we want to break it down one by one. So this is just the base layout of the card and I want to export this. I don't want to save a copy. I just want to save it normally. And I've already did this, but let's just call this front base. And then I will export the part with the image applied and call this front image. And then we want to get rid of everything except for this part. So this is my mask that I've created. And this mask is telling Cinema what part of the trading card should be holographic in the end. So just make sure that you work with mask a lot. And I'll just save this as well under front mask. And then I'll disable this and enable everything else. And I just want to make sure that I have some displacement going on. So I will copy all of them and then copy them using Control J and merge them together. And then I will add an inner glow with the color black like this, just a teeny tiny bit. And this will be my displacement map for the front side. So let's call this front displacement. That's okay. Doesn't need to be perfect. And I've already got my backside ready. So let's just make sure that we have our border and we have our border corners. Now let's put this image right here. So those are those. And this is corners. I'll just merge them. Add an outer glow to this one so we get a little bit of separation going. Like this. That's too much, so like this. I'll export this as back base. And then I want to get rid of this. And instead of the outer glow, I want the same inner glow happen with this one. That's okay. I'll just copy this and put this on my star. This is my displacement map somewhat. Let's put that as back displacement. Get rid of the border. And get rid of the layer style. Clear that. Call this back mask. Okay. Now I will head on over to Materialize. This is what it looks like when you open it up. Obviously, it's nothing much, but we will Under diffuse map, we will hit O, and that is for open. Then you just navigate to where you have your stuff saved. In my case, it's a bit complicated, so let me just, that's wrong. That's right. Here, and then we go here. Then we go here, Photoshop exports. Okay. Now we have our front image, and this is what I want to import. Select this. Now this is in here. And that's fine. And I want to create a height map. With the reveal slider, you can see what's going on. And I don't want this to be too strong. You have all these values that you can adjust right here. I don't have the settings quite figured out, so I'm just going for what feels right. Like this. And set as height map. And then I want to create a normal map. I don't want this to be as dramatic, so something like this works just fine. And that's pretty much it. So I want to hit the S on the normal map and call this front normal. Select, and I want to hit the S on the bump as well and call this front bump. So we will head back in there. Go to trading cards. Nope. Photoshop exports. We put the back base. There we go. Didn't mean to do that. So let's see. Come on. Okay, dude. Something like this is okay. Set as height map, and then we want to create a normal map. That's okay. You just want to get that little detail in there, and then we want to call this back normal. And then we want to call this back bump. So let's head into Cinema4D and see what we can do. What we want to do is create a cube. And we want to make sure it's the same aspect ratio. So for now, I will put 280 as my X size and 480 as my Y. And then I just want to reduce it to a... That is not the size of the trading card, I think. It's 2805. Okay. So it's... let's just... It's 2805. Then we want to make it smaller. And there we have our trading card. Let's just set a camera up real quick. Make this just 50. And zero this out. And then we want to adjust our aspect ratio. Oops. So we want to make sure that it's not as thick. So we want to put the Z to like 1 centimeter for now. I think this should be fine. We can even go lower, put it at 0.6 or 0.8. Something like this seems good. And now what we want to do is create a material for this. So let me just configure this, put the save frames to black, 100%. Make this our visible environment, and then just put a random HDRI in there. Something like this. Put it to path tracing. Just adjust the settings real quick. Make this 800, 999. Add a 0. Clamp to 10. Okay, so let's start by just by the basics. So I want to make this editable first of all. And then I want to select just this part, like just the front part of this. And I want to apply this material. Now, we'll start off by just going into our trading card folder and apply the textures one by one. I want to go here. That's wrong. This is it. I'll just put this right there real quick. And just put this right here. So you can see this is appearing. And that's what we want. It might look rough. And what I want to do is I will copy this and then apply the normal map. And then I want to apply the bump as well. It's a bit too harsh, but that's just what Octane bump is. So I'll drop that down to like 0.3. Probably put the roughness up a bit. Something along those lines. But you can already see that it does have haptics. So it feels like it's an actual card. Same goes for these borders right there. And then we just want to build from there. So what I want to do first is add a mix material, right? And then I want to put an Octane material right here and make this a specular material, which won't really be noticeable right away because we just have the front side of the card selected. But I want to put both in there, and I want to copy this texture. And I will add the mask that will tell us where the normal material should be and what the rest of the card should be like. So everything that is white will now be what our texture is giving it. Oh, that's the wrong slider. Put this into a mount. And now we just want to change this out, and you can see everything outside those white lines has now become a specular material. I will just increase the roughness a bit and maybe put the index to 1.55. We will slowly build it up. So let's go into our mix material again and decide, you know what color should our card be? Considering it is primarily purple across our image that we have selected, let's do purple, you know? Make it a glossy material, and maybe increase the index a bit, increase the roughness, and then just let's create another mix material. And I don't want this to be right here. I want to plug this into here. Oh, my bad. This into here, and this into there, and this into our material 1. So we get something that looks like this. Don't worry. I will now copy this image texture as well and select another mask. So this is our mask for everything that's supposed to be purple except for the image. So I'll just apply this and put this into the amount. Okay, that's good. That's wrong, obviously. So I want to invert this. This is right. That is our displacement, I think. Yep, that's our displacement. That is not specifically what I want, but that is okay because I can just go in here and export this without the inner glow. So let's just do that. Save a copy. and call this front mask 2. That's fine. I forgot this step. And let's just put this in here. And this is what we want, right? And I also want to have that same bump in here and that same normal in here. That's good. Okay, and we are almost done with the base setup. So let's get the holographic in there. And let's create another mix material and put this guy into here. And then I want to create another octane material and make this a glossy. We will save this right now just in case, because you never know. That's the wrong folder. Trading cards. Trading card tutorial. And okay, we made this a glossy. Let's scroll, let's pull down the index and make the specula a white material. And then we want to go into fall off, grab a fall off node and put this into the film width. And we want to grab this guy right here and put that into the diffuse as well. That's good. And we want to put you in here and we copy one more texture. This time we need to get our holographic cutout mask. So this is that one. We put this in here and then we put you in here. Now we have something that looks like this, which is not quite right, but don't worry, we'll get there. So let's see if it makes sense if we just change up this guy. No, it doesn't. So there we go. You can see it's slightly going holographic, but because of our HDRI, it's just reflecting like crazy. That's not what we want, but we also want to apply the same bump and the same normal to this guy. So we get the same haptics. Okay. Let's keep it like that for now. We can change around. We can mess around with the settings later. Go all out and go super crazy. But for now, what we have is okay. So let's move on to our backside. Backside is a bit simpler. You know what? Let's just get a slight texture in our specular material. As always, we will be using Travis David's roughness maps. So let's go into smudges and just pick this one. Oh. Something like this is okay for now. Now, we want to select all the other sides. So make sure you select the top, bottom, left and right side, because we want those to have their own material as well. But we just need one selection for that as it's the same material across the board. All right, so I'll proceed to copy this material. That's our purple that we want at the backside as well. So let's just put this on here. That is not what I wanted. I want to select you, homie. That is what I want. And just put this in here. Now this is wrong, obviously, because it's the front side texture still showing. That's okay. So I want to put this into the back normal and put you onto the back bump. So we got something that looks like this. And I want to copy my glass material as well. And just grab this in here. Now we have both of these in here. Let's create a mix material. Put this in here and put that in there. I want to copy my normal. And I want to get our base mask. So this is you. And then I can apply that mix to the selection we made. And we get something like this. Okay. That's fine. You can always play around with those materials. And I want to make sure that you get in here. And that's not the right. It's wrong. Put that into the. Oh. Hold on. Put this into here and put that into here. Okay. So if we view the front, we can clearly, here you go. We can clearly see through now. It's probably a bit much, so we can adjust our glass shader by adding this guy and put that into the transmission. I'm gonna give that a slight purple, bluish purple, something like this. And then we want to add a scattering medium. We want to copy our RGB spectrum by holding down Control. Put that into the scattering, make that a bit more intense. And we probably want to make that different color. Like this. Put that into the emission as well. Into the absorption as well. Probably too crazy, so let's dial this back. Maybe go somewhere else with this. Maybe keep a full purple actually. See what looks okay. This bluish tint is quite nice. So we want to actually copy those and put those into the backside as well. Let's paste them in here, put that into our medium and this into our transmission. There we go. Now we want to go into this mix material and remember the displacement map that we created. So let's open this one up. It's a bit rowdy, but it's okay. We can select all of them, auto range selected. So you get something that's a bit more overseeable. And let's get our front displacement in here, right? So let's put that displacement, displacement, add displacement. We want to add like a 1 and a 0.5. And we want to make this 1K for now. So now we get these extruding parts of our card. That is exactly what we want. And 1 is actually too much, so let's go 0.1 or 0.2. 0.3 seems okay. Make this 2K. And actually, let's you may need to get an HDRI that is a bit different, so it matches well with the presentation of the card. So let me just proceed to maybe get a studio HDRI in here. That's a bit easier. We got these, and we got this at the back. All right. Then I will proceed to get an actual octane light in here. Put that at 90 degrees at the right side. And we want to make that larger. And to the distribution, we want to get a fall off map as well. And then I can just copy this, rotate it minus 90 degrees and add a minus to our X. So now we got those, and then I can head back into our mix material and look for our, so let's see, we want to look for our falloff map that is creating the holographic effect, and just change that around. Like this, and then we want to turn off our HDRI. Okay. And this is our material, so we actually want to not go as crazy on the index. Maybe get a black specula. Okay, that didn't change anything because of the diffuse layer, I think. We can get a 90-degree vector instead. Create some thing like this. Okay. I will go into the glass roughness and actually turn down the power to like 0.2 and do the same for the other one. Power to like 0.2. It's not as intense. And what I want to make sure is that I don't have the wrong bump at the front, which it seems like I do. So, okay. All right, dude. Let's get a new bump in here from there. Hold on a second. Where do we have all our bumps? That's the back normal, and that is the back bump, which we don't want, because sometimes if you copy materials, it just messes things up. So you want this to be here, and this to be here. So that's correct. That's what we want. And now it has probably changed again on the back. That is not what we want. That's okay. I can just fix this by adding the back bump and the back normal in here. And instead of doing this, I can just copy this, put this into the bump, and put this into the normal, and put this into here. Sorry, my bad. Put this into here. That's just Octane things. And same goes for this guy. Oh, because I copied it. Those stay the same. Let's see if it works if I just do this. Yeah, this works. Now you can see that everything is set up correctly, and you get this nice sheen across the card. If you rotate it, you can look through, and now it's just onto some minor details like text. Let me reset this. And actually, let me go into here. And I want to create a universal material, you know. And what I want is I want some emission going on. Just not much, just a bit. So the image is a bit more highlighted and in focus. So I want to call this front emission. And then we want to head back into Cinema, get this file in here. And because we made it into a universal material, we can now apply our emission texture. Make sure surface brightness is ticked off. And we want U in here. And then we can just scale it down. Just until it's shining just enough. That's fine. And you can actually move quick shading. And now it's onto the details like text. So let me just skip forward. So we now have text going on. And I can add one more type of text. So let's just get a first edition card text right here. And we want to navigate this to be the center of this little part right here. Maybe expand the horizontal spacing to 1 centimeter. And we just want to make sure that's somewhat centered. So let's get into the front view and let's get quick shading going. Somewhat center this. That doesn't look right at all because it is probably... Why is it... Okay, you know what? Let's just make sure it looks right on here. Okay, that's our first edition card stamp at the bottom. I want to make sure that this text is actually inside the card, so let's hide this. I meant outside the card, sorry. Oh, because this is where our card is. My bad. I didn't see the card at the back. So we actually were right the first time. So let's make sure this is aligned. And now it's centered. Sorry for that mistake. So we got our cards, we got our name at the top. And we now have a holographic card that basically is fully customizable with different holographic textures, different, like instead of it being glass, you can make sure that it's something else. We have a back of the card. You know what? Something is missing to our back of the card, and that is our displacement map. So let's just get this in here for the final effect. Let's get the back displacement going, put this in here. And instead of 10, we want to do 0.5, and we want to do 0.5 as well. And we want to do 2K. And now we got our displacement at the back as well, so it pops out real nice. Instead of 2K, we could have done 4K. But for our use case, this looks super nice. And it gets the effect across very nicely. This is how you create a nice holographic card that is procedural, fully customizable, and yeah, just ready for the taking, I guess.